Does WWE have the balls to do this with LA Knight? Would they really do it? Well, in this video, I'm going to break down what that is and whether or not I actually think it is true, because LA Knight's in a very interesting spot. Coming out of Survivor Series War Games, his character is in flux, losing the U.S. Championship to Shinsuke Nakamura. Now, this was a surprising title change, I think, for a lot of people, because despite the fact that LA Knight had been going through some challenges as a U.S. champion, he really felt like he plateaued coming out of the SummerSlam event where he dethroned Logan Paul, who, let's be real, and I think most people would agree, sucked as a champion. I mean, they defended the title a few times, right? Part-time guy, haven't seen him since. And when LA Knight got the title, there was optimism because it was like, okay, finally LA Knight, he's got a championship. There was multiple instances. Crown Jewel 2023 going up against Roman Reigns, falling short with the undisputed WWE Championship on the line, that, hey, this guy is being booked against top stars and top feuds, yet he just loses. And its frustration builds among its fan base because people want to see LA Knight succeed. They seen him go through all the ups, all the downs. They see his potential down in NXT. They saw him struggle with the Max Dupree character. And so when he hit the main roster and they finally started to go with him, it's like, okay. And when they gave him the U.S. Championship there, it's like, okay, finally. Like, we saw him lose all these matches. We had our support and our determination that he would become a champion in WWE as a singles guy. It was waning, but then finally at SummerSlam, he dethroned Logan Paul, ending that really bad reign. And what did he do following that? Well, he would go out on TV, week in, week out on Friday Night SmackDown, and have open challenges. Now, the good thing about open challenges is it gets the champion to defend the championship on a weekly basis, or therefore of, and it would also get talent who, let's say, would not get a normal opportunity at a championship match, and sharing the ring with a champion, the opportunity to go out there and shine, showing the fans what they can do, but more importantly, showing the company and Triple H and etc. what they can do, leading to future opportunities. And that leads us to today's video, because when he lost the U.S. Championship, it was surprising to a lot of people, including myself, I won't lie. But I think that they could have him win the United States Championship back soon. And now hear me out, as crazy as that sounds. Look, he had the title for a few months. He didn't do much with it for a few months. But you can make the case that LA Knight needed that to kind of reset his character, to reset the mentality of the character, but more importantly, reset the mentality of the fans, because Triple H, he has publicly talked about how he pays very close attention to what fans are saying. I mean, he has been seen in Gorilla, and he's scrolling through Twitter, seeing what people have to say. So he's very in tune with the fans. He talked about in the past that if he booked what he wanted, WWE would go out of business. So at least he's open-minded to pivoting and changing plans. And so when it was such an abrupt change, people questioned it, including myself, and I'll tell you why. The idea to have Shinsuke Nakamura off of WWE television 4 months, and I understand that he worked a few house shows over the summer, the idea to keep him off of television, not really do anything with him when he was on television, returning with a brand new gimmick, laying out LA Knight, getting a championship match, only to win one match on Friday Night SmackDown, literally the night before Survivor Series, and then going in there and pretty much doing as he pleased with LA Knight and winning the championship as part of this new gimmick. It's so out of left field that it doesn't make a lot of sense. Sure, you could sit there and go, well, Nakamura, he has a new gimmick, they're trying to get it over, therefore he needs a championship match. Not when you've not done anything with the guy. And the only time that you do anything with the guy for literally his entire career is to serve a purpose for someone else. They built up Shinsuke. He went and had a WrestleMania match with AJ Styles. It was to benefit AJ, right? They built him up while trying to sign other international and New Japan stars, aka Okada. Remember his championship run that he had when Seth Rollins for the World Heavyweight title. That was when they were trying to bring in Okada from New Japan. He opted to go to AEW. As soon as Okada was like, I'm not signing with you guys, guess what happened to Nakamura's push? It ended, right? So Nakamura's an interesting guy. He's also older. And so when it comes to Nakamura, they use him. He doesn't necessarily use them. Sure, he gets paid, but it's not like it's a consistent or sustained push. And so if you lay out like that, I don't think the idea to just run it back with LA Knight is that wild of an idea. I actually think that WWE could easily entertain the idea, but more importantly, do the idea. Look, LA Knight, despite the fact that he had a little bit of a rocky U.S. Championship title reign, despite the fact that his star power has waned, he's still one of the most over guys on the roster. You know, when The Rock came back earlier this year, there was a lot of comparison to him. And LA Knight's dealt with this in his entire career. It's like if The Rock and Steve Austin had a Frankenstein baby, it would be LA Knight, right? With their the way that he talks, the way that he carries himself, etc. To a certain degree, the way that he works. And so when The Rock came back in January, there was a lot of comparison and people calling him a knockoff of The Rock, and it's like, okay, y'all need to calm down. That's insane to think that LA Knight could be anywhere close to The Rock. Nor is it insane to think that he's trying to be exactly like The Rock. There's a huge difference between trying to be someone, copying them literally move for move, word for word, etc., and taking inspiration from them, right? And so at the end of the day, LA Knight's his own guy. And LA Knight has been able to get the fan base to rally behind him. And the idea to have him win the championship, and then, so win the championship, lose the championship, win it back. It's a U.S. title. It's a secondary title. It's a mid-card title on SmackDown. We're not talking about the world title. We're not talking about the Undisputed WWE Championship. We're not talking about the NXT title. It's a secondary belt, y'all. I understand Gunther held the IC title for over a year. Newsflash, not everyone's Gunther, right? Like, that was an exception. Typically, secondary titles are not held. The champions don't have a long reign as the top champions. They interchange. Why do they do that? Well, the role of a secondary title or a mid-card title is to get people over, right? So you give them the belt. Can they get over this champion? Yes. Okay. They move on to being a main eventer, a top star. No. Okay. They're going to stay down. You also have talent who is really, really good. They're right there, but they're not necessarily main event talent, but they're still good enough not to be on the lower tier card. So you have them work with other stars that you're trying to get over or trying to figure out and give them a reign here and challenge for the title here. That's what the secondary title is all about. So we're going to find out real quick what they have, but I think put the title back on him. Why not?